Released by Atlus in 1999 on the original PlayStation, Persona 2 Sin would be a sequel to Megami Ibanroku Persona, taking place 3 years after those events. Directed by Shoji Meguro and written by Tadashi Satomi, who wrote the first Persona game, the game would get a remake for the PlayStation Portable and release outside of Japan as Shin Megami Tensei Persona 2 Innocent Sin. For story, the game features a boy named Tatsuya, a senior in high school alongside 5 other party members, including returning character Yukino from the first Persona, saving their city and themselves from the darkness in everyone's heart, though only 5 characters can be fielded in battle at a time. For gameplay, most conventions such as exploration, dungeons, and demon recruitments would be the same as the first game, with small refinements like allowing multiple party members to appeal to demons. The battle system of the remake would be modeled on the mechanics and conventions of the sequel Eternal Punishment, including new graphical cut-ins when fusion attacks are performed. Besides visual and UI upgrades, the remake provides the option of the original or rearranged soundtrack and a new climax theater where multiple what-if storylines and mini-quests can be played, written by various members of the staff. The story only gets larger from here, so let's cut it down to size with a recapitation. As the game begins, it's 1999 as Tatsuya Suo, a senior at Seven Sisters High School, is being accosted by some school bullies by his motorcycle, when a voice in his head suddenly speaks out and brings him to his knees. Hanya, a disliked vice principal from St. Hermelin High and now strangely popular principal of Seven Sisters, diffuses the situation and notes Tatsuya must have been the source of the resonance he just felt, annoyed at how the boy somehow does not obey him. He smirks, saying he'll be visited by a guide soon, and walks away, as another student notes how everyone loves and respects Principal Hanya without question. He's called in by Miss Seiko for guidance counseling and hears of a rumor that your dreams will come true if you play something called the Joker game. Seiko is another transfer teacher from St. Hermelin High and talks to him about his plans after graduating, as they are interrupted by Lisa, a student martial artist who has also had a crush on Tatsuya since they were little. She scolds him for wearing the school emblem, citing a rumor that such a thing is cursed, and shows him a note from Eikichi, a gang boss at Kasugiyama High who took a girl from their school hostage unless Tatsuya comes and fights them. Eager to help him fight and rescue the girl, Lisa joins as they ride off towards the meeting spot at a prison. As it turns out, the girl with Eikichi, nicknamed Cozy, is being treated well with food, and is actually a fan of Eikichi and is investigating information Eikichi may have on the emblem curse. Eikichi is also the lead vocalist of his band and has no idea his friends set up the scheme and challenged Tatsuya. Lisa and Tatsuya storm in, and Eikichi's friends confess they just wanted the two to meet and hopefully have Tatsuya join his band. Despite the misunderstanding, Eikichi insists Tatsuya join, by force if need be, but Lisa mocks him, bringing up the rumor Eikichi likes to pull down the pants on people, earning the name Undiboss. Suddenly, Eikichi grows quiet with rage as both Tatsuya and Lisa feel a strange power emanate from the sophomore, and Eikichi summons forth his persona, the Greek judge of the dead, Rhadamanthus. Unexpectedly, a persona emerges from Lisa as well, Eros, the Greek god of love and desire, though she collapses from the strain and Eikichi is shocked to see someone else with the same power as him. The mysterious voice from before speaks again to Tatsuya, and this time manifests as his own persona, the Roman god of fire and forges, Vulcanus, who easily defeats Eikichi, though he too passes out. Seeing a shining butterfly before him, Tatsuya also sees glimpses of his childhood as a masked man named Philemon greets all 3 of them. He explains their power is the ability to summon the gods and demons within themselves called persona, though everyone wears countless masks over their many faces, and their persona is just one of them. He warns them a fearsome foe will soon threaten their existence, their city of Sumeru is now a place where rumors become reality, and their personas will be key in the battles ahead. As they wake up, they note they all had the same dream, and Lisa thinks their scenario may be linked to the Joker game. As Lisa and Eikichi's friends try the urban legend themselves, they are shocked to see a figure calling itself Joker indeed appear before them and ask them what their dream is. They hesitate, and Cozy tells them to hurry and ask for a wish, as the rumor says those who don't get turned into shadow men. Holding up a crystal skull, Joker claims their trump cards have been spoiled, and claims Eikichi's 3 friends, yet nothing happens to Lisa. Joker claims it's better to be forgotten and disappear than live with the pain of an unrealized ideal. He then calls out to Tatsuya, claiming to have been waiting for him specifically, as he summons demons to try to kill them all. Summoning their personas, they surround Joker and unleash a fusion spell, but then Joker reveals his own persona, the Lovecraftian outer god Nyarlathotep, to protect him. He calls out Tatsuya as a thief, blowing them all away and seizing the student. He speaks in a familiar tone to Tatsuya, but sees none of them recognize what he is talking about and steps back confused. Seeing no point in killing them if they don't remember, he takes his leave, promising to harass them with demons until they meet again. He gives them an iris flower and declares he will claim revenge once they remember the sins they committed. Eikichi apologizes to his taken friends as they have been already forgotten by other students and is eager to hunt down and kill Joker. Supporting him, Cozy tells them she'll investigate Joker rumors while directing them to a ramen shop that sells weapons. As they seek out the shop, they find they have access to a special area called the Velvet Room, where they are greeted by a man named Igor, who says they have been expected and will help them per their master Philemon. He is joined by the songstress Belladonna, the blindfolded pianist Nameless, and the nameless demon painter, who will all help them awaken new souls of Persona. Arriving at the ramen shop, they meet Tadashi, a wannabe investigator at the Kuzunoa Detective Agency, where he is still dating high school sweetheart Tamaki, who is an active devil summoner. They learn the rumor about the ramen shop weapon dealing wasn't originally true, and yet when Tadashi learned of it, he believed it and somehow it became true. The agency is investigating Joker too, as Chief Todoroki is also a devil summoner and recently a brilliant detective, and suggests they simply spread a rumor that works to their benefit, like the secret weapon shop. Cozy tells them Principal Hanya was seen with Joker, and returning to the school, they see the ominous school clock start to move and see everyone panic, as there is a ghost story about a teacher who died there saying the world will end if time wasn't stopped. As fear of this rumor and others become real, a student's face suddenly becomes disfigured per the rumor of the cursed 7 stars emblem as they hurry to find Hanya. Demons indeed begin to appear in the halls of the school, but not all of them are so bad, as a few offer to make pacts tied to tarot cards to join Tatsuya's group and teach him how to handle different personality types. Eikichi hears the name of the school paper's editor to be Miyabi Hanakoji and is keenly interested in her whereabouts, as she used to be a slim, beautiful girl he used to date. Lisa knows the truth that Miyabi is the chubby girl nicknamed Cozy that he already knows, but chooses to stay quiet as Cozy asked her to. They find the statue of the principal that had a rumor of moving also came true and now walks hauntingly around the campus, but the real principal is nowhere to be found. Instead, 2 ladies enter Hanya's office as well, an energetic journalist named Maya and a tough-looking photographer named Yukino, both working for Coolest magazine. Maya says they are doing a piece on popular high school rumors, and Sevens High has quite a few. Observing the kids have brushed against Joker themselves, they are determined to follow them and learn more, but some demons interrupt their conversation. Neither Maya nor Yukino are shocked to see demons, as Yukino admits it's been a while since she's had to summon her persona, Vesta, and Maya reveals her own, the Greek daughter of Atlas and eldest of the 7 Pleiades, Maya. After the skirmish, the high schoolers are suddenly hit with an emotional sensation of comfort that leaves them in tears, and Maya says she sensed something similar just then too. Seeing they are all Persona users and seek Joker for different reasons, they agree to work together and feel the principal is their first lead. Investigating, they defeat a rumored haunted toilet and think to destroy everything with the school emblem on it to hinder the rumored curse. In the teacher's lounge, Yukino is overjoyed to see her old teacher and mentor, Ms. Seiko, and mad to see her old vice principal Hanya is causing trouble here too. Entering the clock tower, they find the ghost of the teacher who warned everyone about the clock, and oddly, Maya and the kids feel like they've seen him before. Looking up, they see both Joker and Hanya, who proclaims the greatness of Joker while revealing he wished to become a beloved principal and have his baldness reversed. Joker simply mentions the 7 Pleiades set the frozen time free, and revenge isn't the only reason he's here. He refers to himself as the Giver, and claims Tatsuya was the thief that stole his dream before throwing them another flower and leaving. Hanya steps forward with a giant wrench to lay discipline down on the students, but they defeat him, and he leaps out of the broken clock tower, though the students confirm word he likely survived. Picking up the flower Joker left behind, Maya senses a deep sadness and lonely struggle within Joker, and while he seems familiar, she is also reminded of Tatsuya and a poem about a doppelganger. They follow up with Cozy, who has infiltrated Club Zodiac, and within they spot their school's former track star, who got injured in an accident and dropped out of school due to depression, Anna. Yukino senses a kindred spirit and tries to give some unsolicited advice, though is harshly shot down by her. Eikichi also hears someone named Hiroki has taken over his old gang per a recent rumor, and he not only caused the Cursed 7 Stars emblem rumor too, but is also here at the club. Lisa asks about Cozy but learns Miyabi went to go confront the new leader. Hearing Miyabi may be in trouble, Eikichi wastes no time now to confront Hiroki on his own, and the group follows him, running into Trish the greedy healing fairy along the way, as well as several students in strange masks. They catch up to Eikichi surrounded by Hiroki's goons, as Hiroki loves to bully the weak and is getting revenge on when Eikichi humiliated him in middle school. He then spills the truth that Cozy is Miyabi, and she apologizes that she was too embarrassed to reveal it before. Eikichi reveals his feelings for her are still strong, and spitefully, Hiroki cuts Cozy's face with a knife, blaming Eikichi for unrelated problems. As Eikichi quietly endures Hiroki's assault for the sake of Cozy, Hiroki reveals he'll always be stronger than the gang boss per his specific wish, and thinking quickly, Eikichi quits being the gang boss, subverting Hiroki's power, and takes him down with one punch. After the fight, Eikichi comments bullying is a vicious cycle, so he has no right to judge Hiroki, and takes this as a lesson to grow up himself. He turns to Kozi, wanting to comfort her, but she runs away in embarrassment still. Yukino presses Hiroki for info, and he reveals he started rumors on behalf of the student council president Yasuo. He also reveals there is an organization you have to join when Joker grants your wish, and one of the leaders is named Lady Scorpio. Heading to Kasagayama High, they see the school is preparing for a festival, and the new transfer student hasn't been seen for a while, which Eikichi seems oddly uneasy about. Falling into Yasuo's trap, he gloats he set the curse rumor, and while they try to escape a looping maze, Maya states again she senses Joker is not actually a bad person underneath. Thinking on this, Tatsuya shows her the lighter he always carries on him, engraved with a saying, "What's most important can't be seen with one's eyes." He recalls he got it from a childhood friend he had so much in common with they were practically the same person, and after a chance encounter with a drunk man named Baofu, he gave that friend his treasured watch as well. Staying positive, Maya figures the way out, and seeing the school is beginning its party, they enter to see Yasuo as they're absorbing energy from everyone with a mask on into a crystal skull, turning them into shadow men. He confronts them on the roof, saying that as student council president, he's turned around this failing school, and refuses to give up the crystal skull, though the group beats him easily. Surrendering, he reveals that anyone who joins the Masked Circle must present its executives with ideal energy, harvested from Dreaming Hearts, and Eikichi and Lisa both recognize the Masked Circle as a kid's game they've seen in their dreams. Lady Scorpio herself appears to mock Yasuo, and Yukino recognizes her voice as Anna from the club, as she explains the skull can only be controlled by those bearing the constellation of the Holy Cross. Yasuo is suddenly consumed by flames and killed as another masked man appears, declaring himself King Leo, the highest of the 4 executives of the Masked Circle, who also seems to have a grudge against Maya directly. He adds Lady Scorpio's mistake here deserves punishment, especially if she wants to witness the fulfillment of the Oracle of Maya, but Anna simply replies she aims to take out Yukino herself. He says he'll leave them to the Exalted One and they both leave, but Maya is suddenly overcome with deep-rooted fear. She explains King Leo is a pyromaniac who has stalked her for years, and returning to the party in the gym, they see everyone there has already been turned into a Shadowman. As they leave to find a new lead on Joker, Yukino sees her old self in Anna, and like how she was saved, thinks she can save Anna too. Walking around town, they enter a sushi shop, and it turns out to be the one owned by Eikichi's parents. His father wishes for his son to take over as a strong traditional Japanese man, and doesn't approve of Eikichi dyeing his hair, wearing makeup, and pursuing music. Fearful of his father, who is talented in multiple martial arts, Eikichi quickly submits and tries to conceal his flashy life choices. They run into St. Hermelin alumni Kenta, nicknamed Toro, who is now a successful salesman and very confident thanks to his persona Mara. In the nearby park, Lisa is congratulated by classmates on an upcoming idol debut she didn't even know of, and Tadashi explains Lisa is the rumored 3rd member of the idol trio, Muses. Looking into this rumor, the group finds themselves recruited for a music video as they work this lead. Lisa's 2 friends, Miho and Shiba, make up the rest of Muses, saying they made a wish to become real idols, but Lisa fiercely rejects this decision made without her. They proceed to their debut, still inviting their friend, and the group thinks Lisa should at least make sure they don't end up killed by the Masked Circle like Yasuo. Following them to the studio, they see a music producer named Ginji confirm Lisa is the 3rd Muses member. The group convinces a reluctant Lisa to go along with it to get more info, as Maya detects the presence of a persona within Ginji, thinking he may be part of the Masked Circle too. Ginji announces the group's new song will be based on the Joker game, entitled Joker, and they head off to the concert hall now. Tatsuya and the group overhear Lisa confront her friends on the misconception that just because she is blonde-haired and blue-eyed that she is a foreigner who speaks English. It also grates her that her appearance that sticks out, which got her bullied as a kid, is now suddenly what makes her popular and cool based on the whims of others. Her friends apologize for being unaware of her pain, though point out Master Joker can enable her to speak English and succeed if she wishes it. Hearing this, she accuses them of being with the Masked Circle, and Ginji stands to point out it's odd Joker did not grant Lisa's wish before, and suspects she actually had no dream to tell him. He is aware of Lisa's friends, and points out they all have dreams, and because not having one bothers her is why she squabbles with Eikichi and clings to Tatsuya. Lisa claims she had a dream once but lost it, and Ginji encourages her to discover a new one, such as asking Joker to realize her ideal self and guide others who also have no dream. Those who hear her song will later summon Joker themselves and realize their own dreams, and Lisa actually begins to consider their offer. Though the group empathizes with Lisa's story, Maya and Tatsuya choose to trust her to do the right thing. However, as they see, Lisa joins the Muses on stage and indeed begins singing her solo, which Maya recognizes as an excerpt from the Oracle of Maya. Afterwards, Lisa publicly admits that despite her appearance, she cannot speak English, and the crowd supports her anyway. Just then, Akechi notices there are bombs set up under the crowd, and Lisa's panic gets everyone to clear out, though Genji appears before them, declaring himself Prince Taurus. However, he is interrupted by King Leo, who says the song was supposed to convert entire crowds to the circle and clearly did not work. Genji shrugs, knowing there is a lot of ideal energy to be harvested from those who worship idols, showing his own crystal skull, and mentioning something called Nahui Olin. He leaves while mentioning a riddle wherein 4 pillars of flame around town will rise, this hall being one of them, as Genji duels with the group. He loses, but before escaping, steals the ideal energy of Miho and Shiba, reducing them as Shadow Men. With no time to feel sorry, the group flees with the girls as the concert hall explodes behind them, and once again Maya is traumatized by the Great Flames as Yukino notices the burns on her hands. At this time, Ms. Okamura, Lisa's homeroom history teacher, comes in, recognizing this as an event from the Oracle of Maya. Maya Amano introduces herself to Maya Okamura, who is shocked someone else besides Mr. Kashihara and Mr. Sudo know of the Oracle. She accuses Lisa of being a spy for the Führer and his last battalion and leaves, but Yukino thinks the Oracle may have something to do with the occult and knows just the person to consult. Visiting her old Persona teammate Eriko, who now works as a professional model, she says she still follows the occult and helps out. She quickly solves King Leo's Zodiac riddle, leading the group to a bomb in a building's bathroom guarded by the demon Belphegor, and Ixquick, a Persona user serving King Leo, wielding a strange reverse Pyrrhica, a Zoroastrian fairy. They defeat her, though Maya is merciful to Ixquick, and Eriko helps them find the next bomb. Their lead takes them to a gym where Maya's powerful and quick-tempered roommate, Ulala, is working on her boxing right now. She accidentally finds the bomb for them, though has heard of the masked circle from a con she once dated. Finding the transmitter in the locker room, they are confronted by a man who prepares his persona. However, it turns out this man is the con who scammed Ulala as she bursts in, ready to settle the personal score, and revealing she also has a persona and chases him away. They also find a note from King Leo wanting to settle things at the Aerospace Museum, and trap or not, head immediately there. Tadashi and Tamaki appear on the scene in black combat gear working on a case for Miss Okamura, but Yukino recognizes her old classmates. Speaking from afar, King Leo sets a fire going and says the whole building is trapped, intending to burn Maya in particular, but she refuses to submit to fear so easily this time. Fleeing the flames, they find and rescue a class of children visiting the museum at the same time. They even find Ixquick trapped by the flames, and though Maya leaps down to save her first, as she climbs up herself, the rope snaps and Maya falls to the fires below. Quickly reaching out to grab her, Tatsuya suddenly has another vision of his childhood, in which a young girl he knew was trapped in a burning building by an insane young man. Tatsuya was beaten down and stabbed, but his persona would come out and burn away the man's face. Snapping back, he uses his persona to save Maya in time, and Ixquick thanks Maya for saving her life. Making it to the roof, they see Tadashi and Tamaki swatted away by King Leo as he turns to greet the group. Ixquick demands to know why he left her to die too, and grabbing her by the throat, King Leo takes off his mask to reveal himself to be Tatsuya Sudo, the man from Tatsuya Suo's past who still hates kids. He blames both Maya and Tatsuya for scarring him like this, but Maya claims they have no memory of this. He reveals he set up backup detonators at all the sites anyway, and triggers them, demolishing the sites the group already evacuated. Maya asks him about the end of Nahui Olin and Joker's real goal, and Sudo replies it's the fulfillment of the Oracle of Maya and to sublimate mankind to the Idealians. Per legends, the old world will be destroyed as chosen members of a new race will evolve to become as gods. He also claims to have seen the face of Joker as he produces a flower and message from Joker himself telling them to remember a certain summer day 10 years ago. Lisa takes a guess at Joker's real identity being a girl they knew, but before Sudo can respond, the floor collapses under him and Sudo is sent tumbling down, dropping Ixquick. Taking advantage of a rumor among children that the Aerospace's blimp restaurant can really fly, notoriously bad driver Maya takes the helm as the rumor becomes true and they fly away to safety, more or less. The blimp unfortunately catches fire, and worse, Maya senses Sudo on board. Lashing out at everyone and insane from the voices in his head, he attacks the group, wielding the dark version of Tatsuya Suo's persona, Reverse Volcanus. Together, the group defeats the Masked Circle executive, and while Maya gets no answer on who Joker is, they hurry to escape the crashing blimp. Using their personas to bail out with the school kids in tow, they safely land in the sea as the blimp explodes beyond, and Ixquick, who was really named Akari, thanks Maya again for saving her twice from King Leo. She leaves to pursue her own dreams for herself, and Yukino reminds them Ms. Okamura seemed to know something about all of this. Suddenly, Maya gets a call from Ulala, and apparently the group is being rumored to be the terrorists who caused all the bombings. Before the rumor manifests as truth, Maya thinks to ask the kids they saved to spread a counter-rumor to cancel it. Meeting up at the detective agency, they speak with Okamura to explain they are not part of the last battalion, and Maya arrives late, acting strangely cold unlike her normal sunny self. To their surprise, there is a new story on TV about how there is a rumor that the remnant radicals of the Führer's forces are seeking ancient ruins hidden in Sumeru. Okamura claims they helped the Führer escape death in secret, and now they are an insane elite army with cutting-edge technology, armed with a powerful relic that absorbed Christ's blood. She then reveals all of it is in the book In Lak'ech, which states the Oracle of Maya was left by Pleiades aliens who gifted humans with civilization. The group is skeptical that the answer to all of this is aliens, but Okamura adds Kashihara tried to prove it and worked with Sudo, who was a medium. She firmly believes underneath Sumeru is the starship Xibalba, where the Mayans and the origin of all civilizations sleep. Any Mayans who thrived there were of course lost to the intergalactic civil war with the Bolantiku race, which is proven by the Mayan myths of South America and the ruins they built based on Sumeru. The reason why the Masked Circle and Last Battalion are after Xibalba is because when the Oracle is fulfilled, Xibalba and the Crystal Skulls will turn mankind into Idealians, a transhuman state where they understand the meaning of life. However, only a few will ascend while the rest of mankind will perish, and furthermore, when the Bolantiku thought forms take physical bodies, they will cause mass destruction. To Okamura's shock, the In Lak'ech is being released publicly, so legends within will spread, and she wonders if this was Sudo's work. Lisa doesn't believe any of that, and says the Masked Circle is just a game she played as a kid alongside Eikichi and a couple of other kids. Eikichi suddenly recalls the same dream with her and Tatsuya as children. Thinking it was all just a bad dream but realizing it's a real memory, Lisa tells them to meet her at Alaya's shrine, where she'll share the truth she remembers about the original Masked Circle and Joker. Yukino is weirded out, not only by Okamura's theories, but Lisa and Eikichi's sudden recollection and revelation, and also Maya's obvious personality flip. Asking about Kashihara, Okamura explains he was a world history teacher at their school, but always wrestled with the possibility the history he was teaching kids was false. He suspected being watched while riding the In Lak'ech and later was found crushed in the gears of the school clock tower, and she gives the In Lak'ech to Tatsuya, begging him to prevent the oracle from being fulfilled. Meeting at Alaya's shrine, Lisa remembers there was a fire at this shrine that once resulted in a girl dying, as a butterfly now appears before them and they are all brought before Philemon again. He says they are ready to face their past and must now head to Alaya Cavern behind this shrine to recover the truth of their forgotten past. Within, they learn that 10 years ago they were all on summer vacation and this cavern was actually their secret hideout. Tatsuya recalls when before that there was a festival going on and they were all wearing Justice Hero masks when he met a boy his age in a black mask, Eikichi back when he was a chubby boy who got bullied a lot, and Lisa who was made fun of for her blonde hair. They had fun together at the shrine, loved wearing masks that hid their faces and fears, and decided to name their group the Masked Circle. Yukino comments this isn't the first time she's encountered a sad story involving a mask, and Lisa says they never showed each other their faces despite getting along so well and hanging out so often. One day they met a girl praying at the shrine for the future, and the kids said if she joined the Masked Circle, she could have whatever she wanted right now. She knew they were just kids playing make-believe and told them there was another game called the Persona game wherein they could meet their future selves, but wound up all gaining personas instead. Maya brings up that just because you've forgotten about them doesn't change sins you've committed, but Yukino counters that there is always opportunity for forgiveness, repenting, and starting over. They find all their childhood masks except for the kid in the black mask, and Maya suggests he is the only one who did not forget. They all then recall when the older girl announced she would be moving away soon, and the boy in the black mask, named June, felt sad like the rest of them. A young Lisa thought to make the girl stay by locking her in the shrine and miss her moving days so she could stay with them, but Tatsuya would object to this action, resulting in both of them getting trapped when Sudo would burn the shrine down. Feeling responsible for the innocent sin of getting their friend killed, and hearing how Tatsuya survived a stabbing from the arsonist, the friends disbanded the Masked Circle and hid their masks, promising never to meet again. However, Lisa sees the older girl never actually died as the police never found a body, and suspects the older girl is actually Joker. Chuckling darkly, Maya turns to them and reveals she was waiting for this moment for them to recall their past sin and thus begin her revenge. She sneak attacks them all with Reverse Maya and quickly moves to finish them off when suddenly the real Maya deflects her attack, declaring her imposter is a spy from the Masked Circle created by the terrorist rumors of them. Just then, Joker himself appears and Dark Maya hands him a crystal skull as he admits his plan to make them believe Maya's death and fall into despair has failed. He tells them to leave while they can, and Maya declines while revealing Joker's real identity, the final friend of their old group, June. June pauses, refusing to believe Maya survived Sudo's fire, and Dark Maya attempts to kill him again. Destroying the dark copy, Joker flees this time as the group apologizes profusely for not only almost getting her killed, but then forgetting about it all somehow. Maya consoles them, saying this was born from a big misunderstanding, as her persona allowed her to escape that danger, and she turns to the illusory version of herself who tried to tell the truth about June and her place in this cave. Joker June left them a salvia flower this time, communicating thinking of you in the language of flowers, and illusory Maya explains June is still suffering from false memories, asking them to save him too. Philemon now appears and pulls them away, as Maya recognizes him from her first encounter with him 10 years ago, and he congratulates them on their strength of will. As a result, power within each of the old friends has awakened the true prime versions of each of their personas, and he encourages they free June from being consumed by the same manifested rumors he used for himself. Philemon then explains the Holy Cross is the Grand Cross, Nahui-Olin is the world of the fifth sun that will soon perish, and where to go next to save June from the clutches of the crawling chaos near Nyarlathotep. Back in reality, they are shocked to look up and see the rumors of the last battalion have taken hold, and suddenly the radical army with their advanced tech and soldiers overrun Sumeru. They learn from Okamura that the ruins at Chichen Itza are at Mount Katasamuri, where the last battalion is headed and where Joker is said to be. The army's goal is the Rings of Time, which if set in motion will destroy the world, and Yukino says her photography mentor is also there taking pictures. Moving out, they also hear Cozy hasn't been seen or heard of in a while and blow past the barricades the soldiers are setting up. They save the head monk of the mountain temple who tells Yukino her friend went to the summit and left behind for her his prized camera. Making it to the Karakul ruins, they see the last battalion slaughtering the mass circle followers there, and members of the elite 13 unit Longinus squad detect the group's personas, surrounding them and revealing their replica spears of destiny conceal a persona user's power. Not far, they see Yukino's mentor fatally wounded as he collapses and is proud to have captured the battle on film. He says he's glad to have chased his dream passionately till the end and urges Yukino to do the same, dying in her arms before she could tell him how much she loved him. Yukino considers giving up there, but recalls she still needs to fulfill her promise to save Anna, choosing to continue moving forward. Stealing her heart, Philemon responds to her will, appearing briefly to help awaken her persona to its ultimate form, the fiercely powerful Hindu goddess, Durga. Navigating the moving floor maze of the ruins, they save a defeated Anna from being killed, and Yukino shares how she used to be just like her, and wants to help her like she was once helped. However, Yukino hears her own voice call her out for being a hypocrite, as a dark version of her now steps out, pointing out she once had two dreams, of being a photographer and being a teacher like Miss Seiko. Problem is she failed at both, so she took the easy way out, taking her frustration out on others and sleeping around. Yukino doesn't deny her past, and instead says that is all the more reason to listen to her when she tells Anna to pick yourself up when you fall once or twice. Shadow Yukino prepares to attack as Yukino tells the group to go on ahead, and Anna opts to believe in Yukino and aid her in battle. They proceed until they see an illusion of June and his version of that fateful day where only June tried to save Maya, everyone else tried to kill her, and Tatsuya started the fire. Arriving at the heart of the ruins, the rest of the Longinus squad and the Führer himself are there facing down Joker alongside shadow versions of the group and Queen Aquarius. Joker welcomes them all as the rumor version of the Führer steps forward, claiming to also be able to use the crystal skulls and plans to make a wish of his own. Not wasting time, Joker uses the skulls to raise Xibalba, and most of the city is destroyed as 4 Zodiac temples rise up and a colossal summoning ring is formed. Brimming with light, the starship Xibalba rises up into the sky with part of Sumeru still on it, much to everyone's awe. Acting quickly, the Führer has his forces rush down Joker as Queen Aquarius pushes him aside to safety and is stabbed and killed, while a few of the skulls are stolen. Joker sends his shadow friends after the Führer while the real group tries to snap June to his senses, but he retreats further into the embrace of Nyarlathotep, who transforms him into a twisted angel. With no other choice, the party strikes down Joker at the height of his power, and in his defeat, he reverts back to normal June, who wakes up thinking it's been a nightmare this whole time. He sees Tatsuya still has the lighter he gave him and shows him he still has the watch too. Maya hands him a Nemophilia flower, wishing him happiness, a language he would understand, and June weeps an apology for everything he did. Just then, the group senses a powerful persona as a well-dressed man appears before them, and it's June's father, who beckons June to continue his role as Joker. Though, when June refuses, his father abandons him and leaves them to die in the collapsing ruins. Just in time, Philemon rescues them all, including June and Anna, and Yukino asks him to transfer her persona power to June, saying she doesn't need it anymore to walk tall on her own. Philemon tests June's strength of heart first, and passing allows Yukino's feelings to pass on to June, who manifests his own persona, the Greek messenger of the gods, Hermes. June thanks her for the warm feelings she conveyed, and Tatsuya's persona transforms into the Greek god of the sun, Apollo, Maya's changes to the Greek goddess of the moon, Artemis, Lisa's grows into the Roman goddess of love, Venus, and Eikichi's advances to the Greek god of the underworld, Hades. Safely outside, June explains that the ideal energy stored in the crystal skulls is released, then everyone turned into a Shadow Man will be returned to normal, and they'll want to get the skulls and bring down Xibalba before things get worse. Knowing his father and the Fuhrer will be contesting the Heaven Skull, they plan to get the skulls of Earth, Air, Water, and Fire. Taking her leave now, Yukino says she'll return to the city and help where she can amidst the fighting still occurring. Anna says she won't be alone and will use her persona to keep Yukino safe as they part ways from the group. Along the way to the Four Temples, Tatsuya runs into his older brother Katsuya, who was a sergeant in the police force who is trying to help control the chaos. They hurry to the Aquarius Temple where they defeat the Longinus troops standing guard there who mock June for not really remembering everything, else he would know more about Queen Aquarius. For some reason, the idea of his mother surfaces, but shaking it off, he moves to reclaim the Wind Skull. Heading to Taurus Temple next, they encounter Shadow Lisa guarding the Skull of Earth, and she mocks Lisa for coming clean on not speaking English, but airs out her other dirty laundry, such as her compensated dating of older men and experimenting with drugs. She points out she always craved status and attention and claimed to hate it, thus why she clung to Tatsuya, who was the center of everyone's attention. She doesn't believe in anyone and yet wants to rely on others, and Lisa doesn't deny she's been selfish, but she also points out she did have a dream when she was a kid. She wanted to marry her first love, Tatsuya, and at one point she thought she lost that dream, but sees that regardless of what others think, even Tatsuya, she'll still love him. Defeating her shadow in battle, Lisa does not deny her selfishness, but accepts that dark part of herself. She tells Tatsuya she doesn't want to pressure him or anything, but Tatsuya admits he's glad to accept her feelings. Earth Skull in hand, they head to Leo Temple next, where Tatsuya comes face to face with his own shadow guarding the Skull of Fire. He jeers at his dream of going to college because it's not that he wants to study anything in particular, it's just to go with the flow of what society expects of him. He doesn't blame him for wanting to coast through a normal life as a sheep like everyone else, and Tatsuya admits he doesn't strive to stand out on his own. With such a meaningless outlook on life, his shadow points out he couldn't save June and won't be saving the world, and though Tatsuya beats him in a fight, his shadow points out you could never get rid of your own shadow, no matter how bright you shine. With the last of the elemental skulls left, they enter Scorpio Temple, where Eikichi is not shocked to see a shadow version of himself, but is shocked to see Miyabi back in her slim form, clinging to him. Shadow Eikichi says he was the one who drove her to joining the Masked Circle, and Miyabi confesses she always liked Eikichi, even when he was little and chubby, though admits she was too embarrassed to confess and ridiculed him instead. Ironically, even though Eikichi liked her too, it was this rejection that drove him to lose weight, and his dark self mentions this and his attitude shift guilted her to the point where she began to put on weight and went by the nickname Cozy to hide from him. Outraged at his other self, Eikichi boldly declares his love for Miyabi again and out-rocks him into submission. Though the shadow hisses he'll always be watching, Eikichi says he's fine with that, as he already knows who he is. After the fight, Miyabi and Eikichi finally embrace, and he confesses again how he loved her big heart more than her looks, as she always was so kind to him when he was bullied by others. Miyabi responds in kind and the group cheers for the new couple, as Maya jabs all he has to do is get over his daddy issues now and he'll be set. Grabbing the water skull, Miyabi promises to wait for him as he goes on to fight, but they then get word from Tamaki that Prince Torres kidnapped Okamura, intending to sacrifice her. June recalls Okamura is the other person who authored Inlekech with his father, and Okamura has Mayan blood and is meant to be sacrificed when the oracle was fulfilled. He adds there is a gate at their school where they can follow them, and finds the last battalion has already taken over Seven's High. Surprisingly, Principal Hanya not only appears to protect the school, but repels the last battalion by himself, thanks to the power of the student body believing in rumors of his return and heroic power. He thanks the group for knocking sense into him with their last fight and truly earns the respect of the students. Jumping into the portal, Maya's bad driving makes for a bumpy boat ride as they travel down the Silver River, crash down a waterfall, but somehow make it safely to Xibalba. Dodging the deadly dungeon traps within, the group is shown glimpses of June's childhood memories. Eikichi comments how fathers are a huge part of any kid's life, and sometimes are the first big obstacle they face, as he and Lisa relate to June's strained relationship with his father. They find Prince Torres, but he's already dead with a face melted off from a trap, and June wonders if dreams are worth chasing when they can get you and others killed. Further in, Maya sees a memory with her own father, who never stayed home with her like she wanted, pursuing his dream career. However, in his reporter coverage of a war, he never came back, and all that was left of him was the good luck bunny charm she made for him as a child. The deeper they go into Xibalba, the more Maya notices their own thoughts gain immediate power, as just thinking about a break room produced one, thinking something was a trap meant that it was, and wanting to escape alive saw them through a trap safely. Later, they see another of Jun's memories, but he insists the man they see is not his father. Lisa puts together that Jun's father wrote the Inlikech. The author of Inlikech died in the school clock tower, and the man they just saw looks exactly like the history teacher who died in the clock tower, so that means Jun's father is actually the dead history teacher of their school, Mr. Kashihara, though that doesn't explain the man they are currently chasing. Maya thinks that if they believe they will catch up to their foes soon, then it will come true, and to their surprise, it does, as the Longinus leader congratulates them on figuring out Xibalba's secret. He tries to use the power of words to win, but Maya counters with zealous confidence, and the will of the group becomes truth in battle. Confident they'll find Jun's father next, she explains the trick to the others, but says it's not as easy as that. Sometimes it seems fear and negative thoughts take priority in manifesting, but neither sharing the same thought nor believing the same thing is the pattern. She suspects outside interference, and so warns them not to think of anything powerful and scary. Eikichi thinks about what she could mean when suddenly a golden version of his own father enters the room and prepares to fight them, much to his chagrin. Defeating the scolding effigy of his father, Eikichi gains a little confidence and promises not to think of anything else bad since that was the main thing he was afraid of. Another confused memory of Jun shows his portrayal of his father as successful and cool, living together happily with his mother, but this clashes with Jun's emotional scars of a mother who neglected him and fought with his father. Suddenly, a metal version of Jun's mother appears, scornfully wishing he never existed, and Jun indeed begins to disappear, as the group hurries to defeat her and reassure Jun he is still wanted and needed in this world. Breaking the last of his false memories, Jun resolves to defeat the man ahead of them, explaining it's not his father after all. Beyond, in a cryonics room, Okamura finds preserved Bolontiku aliens and demands they ascend humanity, but Jun tries to explain to her this is just the delusion of his dead father brought to life by her expectations, revealing himself as Kashihira's son. He adds that even his father warned her not to fulfill the Oracle of Maya, and Okamura counters he sounds just like his mother, who also slandered his father's work. Okamura hysterically claims she understood and respected Kashihira's work, and would have been a better wife to him as well. Just then, the aliens come out of their cryopods, knocking aside Okamura and turn to the group, viewing them as food. Fighting for their lives, they see Okamura is still alive but out cold, and so thankfully there has been no sacrifice. Wondering who the man who claims to be Jun's father is, Maya figures it's just another rumor made real, but by them, as when they were kids, they made wild theories about Jun's mysterious father. She elaborates that just like how their personas are but one of many selves shown to the world, the perceptions and image others have of them are also as numerous and different as there are people who know them. Heading into the heart of Xibalba, they find themselves in a strange place similar to Philemon's space. The Führer appears before them, spear of destiny in hand, and laughs that his aim was never the crystal skull, tossing it back while changing shape into the false Kashihara. He welcomes them to the world of the collective unconsciousness, where he claims guinea pigs called humans are born and where their egos someday return to. The crystal skulls in Xibalba are just fragments of himself, made real by their own desires, though he laughs at the absurd and desperate rationalization of an alien spacecraft leading mankind into godhood. Even his appearance now is just Jun's desired ideal father he always wanted, and he shows him his real father, who claims he wrote the Inlikech in the hope Jun's generation would become ideal humans and never suffer again. However, he now realizes using a dream to search for a dream was a foolish fantasy. False Kashihara then shows them the ruins where Queen Aquarius fell, revealing she was actually Jun's mother who wished for youth and also wished for Jun's happiness in the end, which is why she sacrificed herself when she learned Joker was actually Jun. He brings her forth where she apologizes for being selfish all these years, and false Kashihara laughs that Jun has everything he ever wanted now, killing the ghosts of his parents before him. He reminds them this is his world and he's undefeatable within it, but as the group challenges him anyway, he assumes a monstrous form, melding the image of all of their fathers into one nightmarish abomination while saying it is a father's nature to be the ultimate obstacle to his child. Fighting for their own future, Tatsuya, Lisa, Eikichi, Maya, and Jun push back the Great Father with such power he cannot help but be impressed. After the battle, Philemon comes in to jab the softness of their foe, who was really Nyarlathotep the whole time, and shows the group proves his side of a debate they both had. Philemon explains they are both the sources of people's souls and incarnations of the collective unconsciousness, where his role is to guide those with a strong heart and Nyarlathotep's is to drag the weak into the abyss. All this is to determine if man's soul, full of contradictions, can evolve into something whole, which he feels they showed potential of. However, Nyarlathotep says all Philemon can do is watch, but he can do so much more, as Okamura appears behind Maya and impales her with the Spear of Destiny. As she falls dying, the group finds they cannot heal her, and Nyarlathotep explains he is the one who spread the legend that wounds from that spear are unable to close 2,000 years ago, and humans have perpetuated it, making it an unshakable rumor made true. Not wanting to be a burden on others, even in death, Maya asks them to forget about her, and still encourages them to achieve their dreams. As Maya dies, Nyarlathotep proclaims that the oracle has been fulfilled, and by their own hands, humans have achieved the dream of their own destruction. As the planets now align in a grand cross with Earth in the center, the entire planet suddenly stops rotating immediately. However, its unshackled inertial energy rips apart everything on the surface, and only Xibalba is safe. Declaring victory that the darkness of the human heart wins in the end, Nyarlathotep poses in victory and leaves with Okamura. Philemon then states there is actually one way to change this outcome, and that is to erase their meeting on that summer evening, thus deleting this entire timeline and giving rise to a new one. The power of wills can accomplish this, but the price will be their memories and past of this timeline. He points out Nyarlathotep gains strength from the unconscious desire of destruction and negative emotions in everyone's hearts, so to stop him, mankind must change and they must create this new world where he fails. While they don't want to forget the tragedies and joys of this timeline, they reluctantly agree to reset it nonetheless, as one by one they disappear for the new world. Before leaving, Lisa kisses Tatsuya for good luck, not wanting to forget him regardless, and Philemon asks if he has any final words before they part. Punching him for the cruelty of their decision, Philemon's mask falls off, revealing an identical face to Tatsuya's, as he explains they are one and the same and he is always watching him. Tatsuya also thanks him for the second chance, and Philemon sincerely hopes that he finds a way to remember. As the game ends, Tatsuya feels the wills and wishes of his friends as they separate for now, and we now see the day he was to report for guidance counseling with Miss Seiko. Tatsuya still has June's lighter in his possession, and Lisa still has a crush on him, though they are only classmates and not friends, and Tatsuya is actually the most popular person at 7's High. Eikichi isn't a gang boss and is trying to start his band while enjoying a relationship with Miyabi. June grows up with his father alive and a loving mother while deciding to become a teacher like his father. As fate would have it, outside a train station, Yukino, June, Eikichi, Miyabi, Lisa, Maya, and Tatsuya would all cross paths as Tatsuya bumps into Maya, pausing them all and beginning a new journey. Shin Megami Tensei Persona 2 Innocent Sin has enjoyed the success of selling over 600,000 copies worldwide.